Disclaimer: not many animals were hurt in the making of this video. Just the one. Many times. Hello everyone and welcome to part 1 of the new Hunter Solo PvE Series. My name is Wodan and I will be your guide today as we're taking on our first challenge, Overlord Wyrmthalak in Lower Blackrock Spire. This guide will show you in depth how you too can solo this nasty dragon and who knows, obtain those tasty looking beast stalker shoulders, or, if you're lucky, make all of the paladins really jealous. The requirements for this are quite trivial. If you have a level 60 hunter, that basically means you can do this. Even though my gear at the time of this recording was already quite good, I was making these runs when my gear was barely any better than pre-raid best in slot. I would highly recommend bringing a lesser invisibility potion because it allows you to skip a lot of trash near the beginning. This trash can be done with a regular pet pool, but it's very iffy and not worth the hassle or time required to do so. I would much rather spend a few gold on an invisibility pot. As your pet's going to be dying a lot, be sure to bring plenty of food and of course a lot of drinks for your own mana pool. I would recommend at least 2 stacks of each. Health and mana pots are optional but definitely not required. Being an engineer has a ton of advantages, things such as the gnomish cloaking device, the natomatic projector, goblin rocket boots or goblin rocket helmet can all be used to give yourself a bit more time, or they can be used to make your escape should the situation require it. Emphasis of course on can. And last but definitely not least, bring your patience. This is going to take a while to master. I myself have done well over 50 runs, and for me it's still by no means guaranteed I will get through this without dying. Even if I don't, this usually will take me around 2.5 hours. Do not get greedy, and as harsh as it may sound, it's often preferable to let your pet die or feign even when you think you might still be able to possibly snipe that one mob. I would recommend playing it safe because it's one hell of a long walk back. Keeping all that in mind, let's get started with our run. First pull here is pretty easy, it's a really basic pet pull. Just send your pet in, put it to passive, make it pull back. What you do want to mind is the patrol that I barely managed to avoid here on the left. Jump down. There's another patrol here. Depending on where they are, you might have to adjust the spot where you feign death, but you should be able to pass regardless of their position. Then jump down onto this ledge, jump down another ledge. And this is a really good spot to grab some food, some drinks. You're going to need your full HP here, because coming up we're going to jump down. Make sure that your feign death is off of cooldown before jumping down here. Aspect of the cheetah is required. Feign death, now use the invisibility potion that you should have brought, and make sure you have your aspect of the cheetah up before doing this, because if you switch during the invisibility that will break it, and without you're not going to make it up to this point. Here we can call in our pet, put him on passive again. Here you're going to want to target the big spider mother smolder web. Here you can see that I'm switching to my track beasts to keep track of the patrol of the spider that's on top of the beam. Once you see that you're clear, send in your pet. Be sure to aggro mother smolder web. Pull the pet back. Now right here it's very important that you stick to the right side of this ledge, otherwise you're going to aggro more spiders. Your pet is going to die here. I don't think it's avoidable. So here you can see that I have to wait up a little bit until the patrol passes. These spiders are annoying though, they seem to somehow have a higher resistance to your feign death. Virtually every time I've had a resisted feign death, it was somewhere in the spiders, either the first or the second pull. That's where, for example, a gnomish cloaking device may work. So what I like to do here is put up a trap for the patrolling spider. Send my pet in after the rest. This pull almost failed because it triggered the trap before I shot it. I was pretty sure I shot it after the trap had triggered, so I was afraid I was gonna have to reset, but luckily that did not happen. Here you can feign death safely. Now, I did end up cutting the footage a little bit here. I had a really bad pull on the bugs. This is a safe spot, by the way, from the patrolling ogres, so you can hide there in case it should be necessary. So jump up here, it's used a lot in lower Black Horsepower regular runs as well. Now the bug on the right here is the only one that's going to aggro. The one that's closest to you. You can actually try to kite this bug, kill it, and should you have to come back here, the bugs will not aggro at all. Here we can get our pet back out. The patrol has passed to the left. Should be well clear by now, but we have another patrol over here. This one will soon turn around and go back up the ramp there. The positioning of your pet here is very important. Try to get it up as close to the ledge on the left as possible, so that when you make this pull, it doesn't get stuck on the corner. Sometimes it gets stuck on the corner there. Jump this gap. Sadly, I was unable to save my pet here, but that's no problem. I managed to get past. This corner here is a safe spot. Here I'm just quickly resurrecting my pet. We're just one pull away from where the real work starts. You can see that the patrol that we just pulled on the ramp, they turn around at this point. This caster keeps on going. He's gonna cross the bridge and go to the pack on the left, which should put him out of our way, at least. So it's just this pack that requires a pet pull. I like putting my pet in the corner there, because it line of sights the casters. Send in the pet, pull the pet back, run past, feign death, and now we can get started on the real fun. Now before we continue, there is one very important thing that I would like to show you. The ledge on the right side here can be used as an emergency escape. If you use aspect of the cheetah and wait until the patrolling ogre passes, of course, you are able to make this jump down. Should things go wrong, you can use this as an emergency reset, so you don't die and have to do the corpse run. From this point on, I'm going to be showing you the footage at an increased speed in an attempt to keep the video at least somewhat of a manageable length. The general rules still apply here. You can use feign death and your pet to give yourself a bit of room. Work with your traps. As you see, I've actually lost the footage of killing the ogre on the left in front of the door here. And here I made a botch pull. I accidentally pulled the pack on the right, so I just reset. Your first kill target should always be the veterans, since they appear to have either no armor or they just have a permanent death wish up or something. They just tend to die very, very quickly. The ogre that I'm killing right here is actually one of the hardest targets to kill. The packs do vary each run, with the two packs behind the door here. So you always want to kill whatever is on the left first. It could be an ogre, sometimes it's a raider with two wolves. If you pull the left wolf of the raider, or just the ogre, as you can see in this video, you can get just the pack on the left without aggroing the one on the right. The patrol is just coming up, so this is a really good time for me to kill it. You can keep track of it on your mini-map. Again, just play it safe. Try to use your pet to create some distance. I'm targeting the Evoker because it's a clothy. It dies pretty quickly. It starts to run at, I believe, 15%. Now the more we clear out here, the more room we have, and the easier this is going to get. The first packs are always actually the hardest. Here I just finished off the other Berserker. This pack on my run had another veteran, so we're going to be taking him out first. I place a frost trap on the corner here, just to slow everything down, give us a little bit more time to take the veteran out, get a nice clean reset. This pack also contained a Shadow Priest, which I believe to be the scariest mobs out of any of these by far. This is because they have a polymorph type spell which turns you into a frog. The big difference with an actual polymorph is that it does not break on damage. Your trinket doesn't break it either, meaning that if it's cast on you, it's basically game over. You can avoid it by simply kiting it at max range. The caster ogres are relatively easy to deal with on account of the fact that their spells can easily be line of sighted in this area. That being said, they do tend to prioritize simply trying to hit you rather than casting a spell, meaning that you are going to have to kite them. I would also recommend killing any critters you come across in this room. You're going to be using your frost trap a lot here, and if one of them happens to just wander across one, it's going to enter combat with you and keep you in combat until you either feign death or kill it. In the meanwhile, preventing you from eating, drinking, putting up new traps, etc. This next pack contains both a veteran and a raider, which kind of gives you a choice in what you want to do first. I chose to take out the veteran first here. It's also totally fine if you want to take out the raider's dogs first. Either of those targets are going to die quite quickly, but the principle remains the same. Simply kill the weaker mobs first and whittle the pack down one by one. At this point I realized I'd been wearing my PvP trinkets the entire time and switched them around. Now I'm going to be taking out the raider's dogs. They're non-elite, so they die very quickly. I was trying to take out the second dog as well on the pull there, but the Berserk was getting a little bit too close, so I decided to just play it safe and reset. Here I just take out the second dog, reset again, put up a new trap, and now you're going to be getting an insight into what really makes the entire boss fight possible here. First of all, I'm gonna be putting my pet in the corner here. I'm going to send it in so it gets on the threat tables. Pull the pet back to the corner. It doesn't matter if you take the aggro here as long as it's just on the threat tables. And as you can see, I've slowed the footage down to normal speed because the jump I'm about to do here is crucial in the success of this run. Now I've frozen the image for a second here because the angle at which you get this jump is crucial. I will show it in slow motion, and as you can see, you want your angle of attack here to be to the right, so jump towards the wall on the right rather than straight into the hole. You'll slide off of the wall a bit, and from there on you can jump onto this stone slab. This makes it really easy to separate the melee mobs from the caster here, so you can basically 1v1 the caster. When the melee start closing in on you, simply jump back down onto the stone slab. They'll turn back and start going the long way around. On this one I was struggling a little bit to take out the caster. It shouldn't normally take this long. Again though, I really cannot stress enough to just be patient, take your time, play it safe, and you'll get there in the end. After this, the two melee mobs are very trivial to finish off, knowing the trick that we just learned. I'll just fast forward until we get to the actual boss fight. There we go, we have finally arrived at the big boss, and the fight is relatively simple. You start off by parking your pet in this corner. Now have your pet attack Wyrmthalak and pull it back to the corner. Your pet could have some pathing issues on these rocks here. If so, just be patient, eventually it's going to get through, but luckily my pet made it through unhindered. When Wyrmthalak gets to your pet, commence attacking him and use the stone slap jump tactic we learned earlier to start guiding him. At some point during this fight he will call for backup and 2 melee adds are going to show up. When he does this, there will be an emote in your chat window. The ads should normally aggro to your pet, which is why it's parked in the corner over there. Oddly, on my run they didn't, but this didn't really matter. The plan remains the same. Feign death so both Wyrmthalak and the 2 mobs aggro on your pet, and from there on what you want to do is aggro them back onto you in a way that makes them all run kind of into sync. Simply take out the 2 ads first. From there on out, it's very easy to finish off Wyrmthalak. At this point there really isn't much more I can add to this. Just keep doing what you're doing and get ready to collect your loot. And that's a clean kill and a wrap on this video. If you're still with me at this point, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think of this video. I intend to do more videos like this, all feedback really is greatly appreciated. Let me know if you have any content suggestions for future videos too. That's it for now. Thanks for watching and happy hunting.